Hi everybody, welcome back to the Desmo Works channel, and sorry it's been a little while, so I thought I'd do a quick update video to tell you where I'm at and what I've got planned as the next immediate steps. Unfortunately, due to the current situation, I find it really hard to get parts delivered in a timely fashion, so it's slowed up what I was planning to get done pretty badly. So you'll notice I've got the second race bike up on the bench. So if you remember, I bought this just before the lockdown. I've had an issue with its UK registration paperwork, which now looks to be resolved. I've just got to pay a final payment and I can get that. So I'm a little bit more confident to go and proceed to do work on it now, because I am the legal owner both in terms of ownership and title. So in a second I'll just talk through what I'm going to be doing on that, and I'll give you a brief update on the ST2, which you're currently sat on top of, just to let you know where I am at with that. So let's talk ST2 and then we'll talk what I'm going to be doing with the 748. Okay, the screen still hasn't turned up, which is a little bit of a frustration. It should be here sometime in mid-February, so it had to be produced as a one-off because they don't hold them in stock anymore, and then obviously with the lockdown situation there's slightly longer lead time on delivery. On the plus side, clutch cover has turned up and I've just stuck that on. It's just missing one bolt at the moment because I just need to pop the cover off to get that in, but that's on. I think that looks really nice. I've also managed to clean up the plastics, so I've used Auto Glim's Bumper Care, which has done a really nice job of taking away the whiting effect that the plastic had. The challenge I've got is where the previous owner has either dropped them on the floor or had them in a garage or something like that. I don't know whether just to get a very fine grade sandpaper and just take the worst of the sort of edging of the scratches and then just retreat it, but from a distance it's not too bad. I've put the top rack on for the top box, but I'm missing some spacer rubbers. Now the box was loose when I got it, so I just thought it wasn't fitted correctly, but actually when I've looked through a load of pictures of these fitted to other ST2s, there's rubbers in here, and I'm assuming that when you slot it into the feet on the carrier and then lock it down, they give it a little bit of rigidity. But if I put it on at the moment, it just sort of shakes about. So I've ordered some rubbers that I hope are going to do the job. Fingers crossed. Put the missing bolt in there. I've resolved the brake light situation, so it was, as I thought, a blown filament in the bulb, because it's a double filament lamp, one for the main light, one for the brake light, so that's done. But I've also just noticed the registration light doesn't work, so I've just sized up that lamp and I'm just going to get a replacement on there. So that's where I am with the ST2. Effectively, I've got one lamp left and the screen, and we're ready to go and take it for its MOT, so it's on the deck ready to go. That leaves me with where I am with the 748. So if you remember, I swapped in a 748 SP engine, so that work's been done. I really need to get a slipper clutch because that is a current standard clutch. So what I'm just going to go through is I'm going to detail some of the bits and pieces that I'd like to look at doing some work with. So it doesn't have an under tray, so one of the things I want to do is fit an under tray. So it's got an aluminium subframe, which is quite a nice addition, but I need to get that sorted out. The seat bolts in a really awkward way down through the actual seat pad, so I'd like to go back to the traditional way of fixing the seat unit in place so I can hinge it up, which gives me better access, particularly because the shock on here has got a remote reservoir, so I can't actually where is it? It's up in here, so I can't get to it unless I can take the seat unit up, so I need to get that resolved. I'd like to source some decent rear sets because it's got the standard ones at the moment. going along down here, I need to be able to lock wire this lot, so at some point during the year when I do a track down, I need to change the oil, which is lovely and fresh in there at the moment. I'll when I've got that all off, I'll need to put Jubilee clip round here so I can tie wrap, so I can wire lock the oil filter, the strainer gauze cap and the drain plug, and I'll also need to do the filler plug. I want to sort out the wiring because it doesn't make any sense the way it's configured at the moment, so I need to get this all tidied up. I need to find a way to fix the main fuse, which is a 40 amp, which I'm pretty sure there's supposed to be 30 amp on these bikes. I will just double check that and change that if necessary. The fuse carrier is a bit of a mess because it's been chopped in half and then has no cover. So what I might do is look at sourcing some actual soldering fuse bodies and just replace that with some that I can have sealed for water ingress. Oh, while we're down here, it doesn't hit the stop, and what I've noticed is the cable is fully adjusted in there, fully adjusted up here, so I think the cable might be slightly too short, so it might be off another bike. So I need a new throttle cable. Then you'll notice the clip-on is short because this is in its correct spot, so I think this has been damaged at some point. It's also bent, so I want a new clip-on on the right hand side. I'm going to do some geometry changes because I don't like the current configuration, so I'll get that swapped back. I'm also going to change this steering damper mount because it's in the wrong place. It needs to be the other way around. It should be at this end. If you remember when we did the first run on the bike, the clocks didn't work, so I'm going to have to go through this wiring and ascertain what's the issue. I do have some spare clocks lying around somewhere again, so I'll dig those out and just connect them in and see if it's the clocks that are the issue or the wiring. Fingers crossed it's the clocks. I need to sort out a new way of locating the power commander because it's just tie wrapped in there, which is I mean, it's loose, which is a little bit of a concern. So that's another job. I need to get some sort of bracket for the clutch master cylinder reservoir because that's going to just bounce around. Coming down on this side, not really all that much to do here. It's just a case of, oh, actually, sorry. So we have a clip round the thermostat body, which is odd. Now I'm assuming because that's there, somebody's done a Heath Robinson and taken the thermostat out of its housing. So I'm gonna have to just double check on that. The bike's drained of water because it's winter, so no problem on that front. Again, as I said, on the other side I want to get rear sets and I want to shift across to a race shift. We've got a decent aftermarket clutch slave. The exhaust doesn't push correctly up into the manifold, so I'm going to have to play around with that and try and find out why. It might be that it's slightly deformed, so it's a little piece of work to do. Give the chain a clean. This came off my old race bike, so I'm pretty happy with that. And we'll obviously need a new set of tyres because I bought these wheels a little while back. It's because they're lighter Marchesinis than the Brembos that are on there, so I want to do something about that. That's just a bit of paint damage or something. It's not gone through to the metal, so we need some new tyres. So there's lots of little jobs I can do on here. Hopefully most of them I can do without the need to wait for anything to be ordered. And I also need another clip on this side and then some bar end weights as well, because otherwise you get massive vibrations through there. So a full geometry setup, I'll get the ride height set up correctly at the rear, along with getting the forks into the correct position that I like them to be in. Brand new forks, so I'm not going to be bothering to do oil seal changes or anything like that. Brand new calipers with pads, so again, nothing needed there. I am going to have to actually order a twin race line setup. Didn't realise we still had the standard one on there, so we have to do something about that for racing. And that's it, I think. There's a list of jobs to do on the bike. All in all, it's sat here pretty much for a year, only having started a few times. Actually, now I come to think about it as well, it was revving really high. Now that might be because the throttle cable was short, so hopefully that will resolve. But I might also reset the idle position on the bike as well when I come to do that. Okay, there'll be some videos coming on the Panigale in the coming months, because I'm just going to do some work to get that ready for the first track outing. So what I want to do on there is Bike Sport Developments do a blip box for it, so as well as blipping on the way up with a quick shifter, it'll blip on the way down as well, like the later 1299s. And I want to put an ABS delete module in so I can fully take out the pump system that's still on the bike at the moment, which they also do. There we have it, a little update just to keep you in the loop. I haven't forgotten about you all. Thank you for watching and sticking with me through this really awkward and slow period where I've not been able to get much content out. Hopefully over the next few weeks that's going to start changing. My hours have gone up at work, so income is coming back in, so I should hopefully be able to start buying some of the little bits and pieces that I need. As a quick update, the Ducati 1098S has been sold, so congrats Eddie, hope you enjoy the bike. It's gone to a Ducati nut that already had 3 Ducatis in his garage, so he was looking at something for a track bike, and hopefully I'll get to see him out at some of the UK tracks on my old lovely 1098, which sad as it was to let it go, that gives me funds to purchase hopefully a vapor blaster. So I'm just researching at the moment a good entry level vapor blaster to be able to use for some of my restoration work, because one of the key jobs that I've got set up in the loft in the garage is a Ducati 916 SPS that I want to restore, but I want to do it pretty much all myself, including doing a lot of the blasting work myself as well. So hopefully, fingers crossed, I can find one within the budget I've got, and we'll get that installed in the garage at some point during this year as well, before we start the 916 SPS. Racing wise, I don't know where we are for dates. The COVID situation means a lot of dates are getting pushed back. I am sort of in the place where I don't know if I'm going to be racing a full season again this year. That then calls into question as to whether I ever race again, because I'm coming up to my 50th birthday soon. I had sort of set that as a hard stop for motorbike racing and was considering doing a bit of car racing. Still going to do track days and everything like that. Still going to be doing some touring on the ST2, but it looks like my last hurrah at racing might be a little bit of a whimper away from it, and it is what it is. Anyway, I just thought I'd get this video out so you know where I'm at and that I've not disappeared completely off the face of the earth, and the channel is still active. Hope you enjoyed that. If you did, chuck us a like. Any questions or comments, or more importantly, if there's anything you want to see as content in the coming months, you know, stick it down below. Let me know what you'd like to see, and I'll see if I can do something about it. If you're not subscribed to the channel, hit that subscribe button, hit the notification bell. We will get more content out. I'll see you at the next video then. Cheers, bye.